Hey, in this video we are going to look at this turn animation. I have this rig called two legs, and I have two of them, and I scaled one of the rig just to make him a little bit heavier, a little bit fatter, and one of the rig is a little bit thinner. And first I will be animating this thinner guy, and then I will be animating the fatter guy. So I'll be copying some animation to make my work quicker. This animation is mostly about the body mechanics and the different weights, how they react when they turn. And please follow along and see how I animated this. Thanks. Okay, so this is my small character. So I'll just add a key here on 10 and maybe 15, and I'll just key on everything. And I'll just maybe on frame 60 I'll turn him. So this as right now he's just turning. I think 60 frame is less. Maybe I'll extend this animation to 80 frames. So here I think 80 frames are good. So this controller, this hip controller, I'll be using to just to add weight on, like hip, add more weights on hips. And this local controller I'll be using just for normal body mechanics. So here so maybe I'll key on 7, and first he will move on side. So maybe by 20 I'll select X controller and I'll move it on one side, maybe on this side. And as he's thin, he don't need to move much, so he will move and he will stay on this side until this frame. He will plant his this feet, so he will move on counter, he will move on other side, and he will stay there for a bit. And then he will go back to other side again. I'll add another key. His feet animation right now is just in my mind. I haven't started planting feet. So here okay, I think that I have this basic side to side animation, so I think I'll just make a basic feet animation now. So maybe at 10 he will go this side, and by frame 25 he will plant his this feet. Sorry, he will I will just key on 10, and then on 25 he will put his place his leg on side, like somehow like this. And then after that he will be at frame 46 I'll key here, and then let's say at 62 he will take this feet ahead and he will plant it here. Okay, and then he will finally, don't worry about the weird weight right now, so I can just select this controller and I can always work on this X. You don't really need to go that far, but you know, maybe I can always so he did this thing, and okay, and I don't think he need to go that fast. I will key here and I'll move him a little bit back, so I'll delete this key. Maybe as you guys can see that I'm not following any I'm just animating. I'm just selecting the controller, and I'm just making my move, and I'm not thinking too much that what it's going to do, what it's going to do. I am just I'm just doing the animation. So now I'll select this this controller, and on 65 I'll key, and this time this won't take much time. So he will just turn his feet and will stand here. Yeah, it looks bad from this angle, but I am going to work on that angle as well. Okay, so getting there. So I'll just select this local controller again. So I can imagine, like, you know, right now at this frame the rotation could be a little bit more like this, and the rotation can start from this frame, and so I can select this Z. So as right now he's taking his leg this side, maybe I can just add a little bit translation on Z side. I think I can just push it a little bit. I'll go back on rotation, and maybe I'll push it a little bit more, and here I can reduce it a little bit. Like this. I can add a little bit cushion here. I think I can just go a little bit crazy on this feet, as I can just turn this feet a little bit more like this, and I can keep the Z translation a little bit less. I think after he landed his feet here, so this thing can happen a little bit faster, so I can just move this up. I can just select all controllers once, and then I can move all these keys a little bit closer just to speed up that part. Yep. And this pose is not natural, so I have to go to translation Z. I think after this point this animation can go a little bit faster, so maybe I'll just select my all keys again, and this part I can speed it up. Even this animation can go a little bit faster, so I'm just maybe a little bit slower. Okay, so maybe I'll select this X. Okay, so I think I don't feel bad about this. Okay, now I will add a little bit more butt animation, and then I'll work on the feet. Or maybe I can work on feet first. Okay, so maybe I'll just get started with this one, maybe this one, and okay, so I can raise this feet a little bit, and I can give it a little bit delay in rotation Y. The landing part can happen a little bit harder, so I'll just break this key and I can give it a little bit heel movement here, like it can land on heel, so like this, and in 2 frames the heel will sorry, I don't mean to animate the roll. I think I animated the roll also. So here I will give roll angle. I will animate the roll here, and in 2 frames the roll will go back to 0 again. Even the rotation can delay a little bit. And maybe I'll go back to roll again. Okay, yep, I think I like this animation. And maybe as he's lifting his toe, I can just select the toe part. Okay, no, sorry, not that one. I'll just select the fingers, and as soon as he landed his fingers, I can give a little bit of animation on fingers also. I won't be animating each finger separately. I'll just quickly add some keys just to make it I'll give it a little bit delay here. Okay, so now on the second part again I'll do something similar. Oh, okay, one more thing. As he's landing here, I will work on the rock. I don't think I have a rock controller here, so I will just okay, I'll just ignore it for now. And the second part again, I will give it a little bit raise in Y, and roll. I just now this feet is left, and maybe after this point I will add some animation here. I'll just key everything, and till this frame I will first thing is I will no okay, I'll just add some roll, and I will give a little bit directional movement to this side of just to knee. I'll just give a little bit rotation here, and a little bit more roll, and on 50 maybe I'll give it a little bit inverse roll, and in 2 frames it can land. I will work on a little bit on I will work on roll a little bit here, and maybe so I think this is thin guy turning around. I will do a little bit more animation on hips. So as he's this feet is his left feet is going up, his hips are going to turn in inverse side, just to give it a little bit weight. Please ignore the stretch right now, I will work on it. And then as soon as he landed on this feet, and he will go on, his weight will go on other side. Maybe this part, at this part it can go a little bit extreme, and then as soon as this feet land, again the weight can go on other side. And on 70 it can balance again. We can give a little bit cushion. Yep, as you can see we need to work more on this, so I will start working on this. Maybe this is a little bit too much, and this is good. And I just wanna give a little bit I wanna work on X a little bit here. So as he's landing here, I want him to be a little bit on the back. I just want to stretch this animation. I just want to speed up this part of the animation a little bit. So I'll just select all the keys. I will click on this hammer, and I will unselect this and I will turn on the manipulator. By doing this, I will get this manipulator and I'll be able to select all the keys together. That's too much. I think I can just okay, I will select this controller again and I will one by one I will smooth them up a little bit. At this part I can give a little bit curve to this feet, so I will select the Z. I will add some animations, add some keys just to give a little bit curve. Okay, one last thing is left, and that is up and down movement. So I will select this, I will select Y, and now maybe as he's going this side, I can give a key here and I can give a little bit down movement. Okay, I think this seems pretty good turn for a thin guy. I will just keep this for the thin guy, and I took almost 30 minutes just for one guy to turn. Now I will go ahead and I will just copy this animation and I will transfer it on this guy, and then we'll see how this fat guy will react on the same animation. So I think we have the same animation, one is fat guy and one is thin guy. So I will see now what difference can we make in a fat guy, because everything won't be same as thin guy in a fat guy. So let's see what difference can we make to make it look more heavier. So first thing is that we can stretch the whole animation a little bit to make it a little bit more heavier. So I will just select all the keys and I will just scale all the keys. maybe by 10 frames, and I will just select them again and I'll snap them. Okay, so another thing is that as this fat guy is turning, there need to be more weight of the weight shift happening, because right now he have more weight, and to shift that weight he need to have more turn in his body. So what we'll do, we'll open up the graph editor again, we will do a little bit more turn. Until this frame I want to keep him a little bit in the center. His hip movements are a little bit too much, and as the fat guy's hips were quite small, so we turn all them that much, but in this case the hips will be turning very slowly, and as right now this movement can slow, we can make that it slow a little bit so that hips are not turning that fast. Also as in this one we have to do a little bit more work on Z. Okay, so I'm still not happy with the hip movements. Maybe in this one I think I can reduce these hip movements a little bit. And now I will add a little bit more bends here, so as this leg is bending, as going this side, and I can just rotate it on and rotate on Z axis like this, just to give it a little bit better weight shift. Okay, so Okay, so maybe I need to fix Y rotation. I think the whole movement need to be way more slower. I guess I can push him a little bit more in X direction. Guess I can need to work a little bit more on this feet, so I will just select the roll. So instead of landing on the toe, maybe I can just let him land on the front side of the feet. This Y rotation is a little bit too fast in this area, so maybe I will smooth it out a little bit. Maybe I can just still keep working on both of them to refine them. but I guess I made my point, as the difference is not you need to observe more that how different things work, in how things will look in a thin guy and a fat guy, how different body parts will work. So yeah, I'll move them together a little bit closer and we'll see the difference properly. And so I think this does not look bad. I can keep working on their butts, but I think this could be a good version to stop. And please let me know what you think. I'm sorry if I made some mistakes, but this is how I will make if I'm making a similar shot. And thank you. Please let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.